On behalf of CrossCheck Media and Biz Talk Today TV, welcome everyone to The Money Path. I am your host, Todd Schoenberger. Joining me today is Nicole Middendorf. She is the CEO of Prosperwell Financial out in Minnetonka, Minnesota. Nicole, we've had a spectacular third quarter for the markets. S&P 500 going into today's trading is up 7.6%. What are you telling your clients, though? Should they expect the same type of outcome in the fourth quarter, or you're recommending something different?
It's just like when you are actually gambling and you win, take money off the table. And so that's where, I'm actually hearing lots of people are very concerned with everything. I was with a bunch of business owners over the weekend, and all of them are like, oh my gosh, like they're concerned from a housing market standpoint, let alone an inflation standpoint. You've got tariffs, like all of that. So there's this uneasiness, this unsettledness. And anytime we have that, anytime, that's uncertainty for the market. And like the market doesn't like that. So yes, we've had a great run. We both have been doing this for a long time. The market doesn't always go straight up. It doesn't go up forever. So pull your money off the table, take some of those gains, but be very mindful. We are getting before the year is out. So is there tax loss harvesting that you could do? Just be very careful with all of that. But why would you write things down if, in general, my rule is, okay, if you make 20% on something, take off what you've made. And it doesn't mean like pull out of everything. It just means pull the money off that you've made and reinvest in something else if there's another opportunity.
Okay, so you mentioned the business owners and you brought up tariffs. So those business owners that you spoke with, are they very concerned about more tariffs, or do they think that maybe we're past the crisis point?
They're just concerned from a standpoint of they're exhausted,
Mm.
particularly, the ones that are dealing with overseas product. They're like, I have to get up at 2 a.m. to like figure out my pricing. And their pricing is constantly changing. They're having to pass on to their salespeople, and then they pass it. So like, there's just this exhaustion that comes from it. Not so much of the concern of what does this mean from an economic standpoint, but I'm exhausted. And what does this mean for my business? People had projections and they had ideas of where their business would go, and they really haven't done what they thought they would do. And that's that concern of like, oh my gosh, these tariffs are really inhibiting my business planning, which leads into my personal planning. And so how does that affect me? Let alone how does that affect my employees? Let alone how does that affect everything?
So you are our resident Minnesota expert here. We get a number of guests on from all over the country, but you're our only one from Minnesota. So what's the climate like? What's the vibe? Are people feeling that with this rising market, they're going to go out and keep spending, or do you feel that maybe there's that's a different pocket of the country that maybe looking at some dire straits down the road?
Yeah, people are scared here. Unfortunately, there's just people are very divided here. People are very uptight, stressed out. And that's where I feel even more compelled, like the Live It list and public speaking and the events and the things that we're doing to like help bring about some levity to the situation. Like people are just very intense and very on edge here. And lots of people are concerned and keep kind of, I don't want to say using the economy as a crutch, but there's lots of people that are looking for a job and they're like struggling. And it was interesting because the conversation that I had with some of these business owners this weekend was like, we're hiring, some of us are hiring people. And when you're interviewing someone, normally it's like, these are my skills. This is what I'm available, this is what I can bring to you. And people are more like, I just need a job. Like I want to work remote. Like this one business owner, she's like, people are just lazy. They want everything. They want the moon and the stars, but they don't want to work for it. And so there's this like tension here with working and wanting lots of things, but not necessarily having the money for it. There's tension also from a real estate standpoint. Like There's just concern. House prices have gone up so much in so many areas here, and we've had so much building of apartments and things. There's this feeling of like, okay, this is going to burst, and that there's going to be some problems with that. So we're also huge, obviously, with the medical world, United Health Group and stuff, and like the CEO, death and that shooting, like there's just so much, people are scared, really, which is horrible, horrible. Like there's a CEO that I know that runs like a security company, and he's like, I never thought I would ever have these conversations that I'm having, like extra protection for people. And that's not a good place to be, like to living in fear from the stock market to like your own personal life to like, how are you impacting the community?
Yeah, no, I can understand that, and I'm sorry to hear all of that. But with now, hopefully, things will maybe turn around in housing with now the Fed coming out and starting their easing policy, and then giving us an indication that they may be cutting again in the final two meetings this year. For the small business owners, do they see this as a positive, or is it just too little, too late at this point?
It's too little, too late.
Oh,
Really.
wow.
Yeah.
That's too bad. That's too bad.
Yeah.
So now that we're going into Q4 and then obviously going bumping into 26, do you feel that now would be a good time to really maybe going increasing that allocation into safe haven assets such as maybe obviously cash, but what about gold? Because here we're at another record high today.
Yep. Yeah. And like bonds, so many people were so like, oh my gosh, let me run from let me run from bonds. And so that's where, bonds and we're huge fans of structured CDs, buffered ETFs, things that are out there to give you that extra protection. The other thing that I'm also seeing, which I don't know if this is across the country, but specifically the amount of people that have money, lots of money sitting in their checking account, not
Mm,
earning any interest. I mean, like
incredible.
300 grand, 100 grand,
Wow.
250,000. It's like, I don't know if it's that Midwestern, like, oh my gosh, let me just like, I'm scared, let me hoard my money. But putting in a checking account isn't the smart thing. So making sure that your money is protected, the money markets, the bonds, and things like that.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I'd imagine I have been hearing that in other parts of the country as well. That's the hoarding of cash, but not utilizing the higher rates right now in money markets. So maybe that would change over the next couple of quarters. Let's switch gears though, because you are an exceptional, successful female entrepreneur running Prosperwell Financial. You have a great event coming up October the 9th. Can you tell the audience a little bit about it?
Yep. So it's a women's empowerment retreat. We have tons of speakers. We have from the extreme end of a police officer sharing about like, how do you protect yourself physically, to a woman speaking like, how do you dress? How do you,
Hmm.
what do you wear? What are your colors? How do you stand for pictures? How do you have a great headshot? To a woman speaking on somatic exercises to confidence. We have women that have businesses that are going to be selling their stuff. So we have vendors from bracelets to jewelry to clothes to purses to skincare, you name it. We have a wall of wine. We have a purse raffle. And so these are purses that have been given to us. So we have a Prada purse that people can buy raffle tickets for 20 bucks, and you could buy $20 and walk away with a Prada purse. And then we've got a silent auction. And so it came from the standpoint of I'm a survivor of domestic violence. And so the foundation that I have is the Live It List Foundation. It's all about helping people, giving people that happiness, that inspiration. And I feel like it took me so many years to figure out like, okay, how can I manifest this life that I want and truly, truly be happy? So anything from yoga to meditation to somatic exercises to that physical personal safety to your health to your financial health, all of that. That's what it is for one day to really impact people.
And how can listeners and viewers take a look and look up some more details of this so that they can attend?
Yep, everything's at thelivitlist.com.
Okay, that's great. Well, we will definitely have a link to in our description on this show as well all about it. We definitely encourage the audience to check it out. I know if Nicole's behind it, it's going to be very successful and definitely will be an event you will not want to miss. Nicole, I want to thank you for joining me today on The Money Path. I really appreciate it. I know we have a lot going on. You have a lot going on as well. And we do appreciate the time today.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Likewise. All right. So on behalf of Nicole Middendorf, I am Todd Schoenberger. Thank you once again for joining me on The Money Path. I'll catch you next time. Take care.